It's not just children that need safeguarding. Vulnerable adults need it too. If your vocation involves you working with vulnerable adults, then it's vital that you are aware of the principles of safeguarding. So what is adult safeguarding? Adult safeguarding is a requirement under the Care Act. It is about working with vulnerable adults with care and support needs to ensure they are safe from abuse and neglect. If you work in a public or private adult care, or you work with support services, you'll need to ensure vulnerable adults are safeguarded according to the conditions of the Care Act. Adult safeguarding is a broad topic, but there are perhaps 3 important things that all employees who work with or around vulnerable adults should consider. Firstly, all organisations that work with vulnerable adults should have a formal safeguarding policy. If you don't know where the policy is or haven't read it, then it is vital that you locate the policy and read it as soon as possible, as you may be placing the vulnerable adult, the organisation and yourself at risk by not following safeguarding best practices. In the unlikely event that your organisation does not have an adult safeguarding policy, then you should bring this to the attention of the HR department or senior member of the company. Secondly, you should be aware that you need to be looking for more signs of abuse and neglect than you would with a child. Physical, sexual, psychological, institutional and discriminatory abuse are common types of abuse that can occur with both children and adults. However, there are additional types of abuse that are more commonly related to adults, and these are financial or material abuse and exploitation, mainly because adults are more likely to have money and assets. Abuse can happen in any setting, for example, at home, in sheltered housing, in supported living settings, at day centres and other day services, in care homes, in hospitals, and wherever people are dependent on the care of others for their well-being. Finally, you should know how to report any concerns you may have. If you are worried about a vulnerable adult but are unsure about whether there is a problem, you must tell someone. If you know of an internal safeguarding contact who has responsibility for the adult in question, then you must report your concern. But if it isn't clear who the safeguarding contact is, you have several options, including calling the police or calling the adult help desk at your local council. Be ready to provide the following information, but don't delay if you don't have all of it. This includes why you're concerned, the name, age and address of the adult at risk, if anyone lives with them, if they're getting any help from any organisation who may be causing the abuse. As an employee working with vulnerable adults, you have a safeguarding duty of care, and with that in mind, remember these 3 important points when considering safety for adults within and around your organisation. Number 1, check that your organisation has a formal adult safeguarding policy and read it. If your organisation works with vulnerable adults and does not have one, then raise this with the HR team. Number 2, adults can show more signs of abuse such as financial or material abuse and exploitation. And number 3, if you are concerned that adult safeguarding procedures are not being followed, then report this to your HR team or the designated internal safeguarding contact.